Hello, everyone. Renee Funk with the Funk Collection, brokered by eXp Realty. Who's this guy?
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I'm Jeff Funk.
With?
The Funk
Same
Collection
team?
broker. Yeah, same team.
Okay. I'm so excited. Dan and Tanin, Teston. Oh, we missed you so much. It's so good to sit down and have a conversation with you both.
Absolutely. This is awesome.
All right, so we're here for a special reason.
We are.
Dan and Tanin, you have some very exciting and special news going on in your world. Tell us about it.
We hit our second year with eXp. Obviously, we're going to be third year here in January, but our second year, we reached our icon status. Second year in a row, and it was a huge feat for us, I think, at the end of the day, because I think that was one of my biggest goals when we came and made that choice to come to eXp. That was like the carrot was dangling that I wanted to go out there and get it. I was like, it felt like it was something that you couldn't do. We weren't quite at that level yet, but ultimately it was achievable. And not only the first year, but we achieved the second year back to back. So I'm pretty excited about it.
It is to think of where we were in March and where we thought that the real estate market was going to be and where we have landed and where you got everything that you guys have done during the year. It has been a remarkable year.
What does being an icon mean to you, Dan and Tanin?
Let's start it off. Let me go.
You're...
I think it's just the top of the tier as far as professionalism. I guess when I looked at icons from the outside looking in, our first year at eXp, and granted, you don't have icons in other corporate or other companies or other real estate offices. They've got a different version of it, I'm sure. I have never really worked with any of those big box offices before, but when I saw it as icon, I looked at those agents as being the top tier of what I thought professionalism should look like and what it should be. Those were higher producing agents, higher listing agents or buyer agents at the same time, but just their production level and their what they brought to the table was just, it seemed superior to me. And I think often I look at you're the two of you and what your levels were, and that's just kind of what I placed it in my mind. And that's just like I say, like the best of the best, I think, the way I look at it.
I'll piggyback on that. I agree. I was excited. Granted, it's one of those goals, like Dan said, you dangle that carrot. He said, here's these different awards that you can win or things to shoot for. And I think we all need to have something that we shoot for, and above and beyond just production numbers, but the value that icons bring to the table is so big. And I remember going to my first iConversation back in January. Actually, you know what it was that really put me over the top was the Tampa event, the Icon Roundtables, and we got to sit in as newer agents to eXp. And here you guys had flown in icons from Texas and other states, and they all came in and they sat down with us and they shared what they were doing to do their business. And I think at that moment, I looked at those people and I was so amazed. One, I love that they were sharing their secret sauce with us, but two, to see them, and it puts it down to a level of like, I want to be that person. I want to be sitting on that side of the table and sharing like they're sharing, have other agents with us and saying, what are you guys doing for your business? So that to me, I think was my big turning point of reality of really, because you see, okay, icon agent, whatever, but be able to see it firsthand and then say, you know what, I like that. I want to be that. I want to do that.
Not to mention Glenn Sanford was there. That the time when you look back on that, and we were very new to eXp, and when you look back, you're like, this was the CEO. Like, that was amazing. Like, oh, this is really cool. And you knew it was a big deal. And you're like, oh my God, this guy is kind of like a celebrity in your mind, but so approachable. And that's such a small little environment that we were in. And here we are with many icon agents that were even from Orlando, or at least a few of the icon agents from Orlando. And I was like, well, if you guys can do this, I felt like we could do it too. And that little round table where you got up and you talked, and you drew a number. And I ended up getting the table with Glenn Sanford and sitting down, and just, it was such a cool, back then, I think we were 16, 17,000, maybe 18,000 agents at that time. I think now we're into almost 40,000. So it's just been crazy 2 years, is all I can say. Really cool experience.
We knew when you came on board to eXp Realty, the two of you would just see a trajectory that would be amazing. I think in your first year with eXp, your year over year was like a 500% growth, right? And just explosive. You came into eXp and you just exploded. You earned your first Icon Award, which is no small feat. And then now you're earning your second Icon Award. And for those watching, the Icon Award is so much more than a production benchmark. Yes, of course, there's a metric that's tied to our production. It is very heavily weighted, though, on how we give back to our fellow colleagues, how we give back in the industry, and how we reach our hand out and uplift others. The two of you are exact role models, and you exemplify what it means to be icons. Can you talk a little bit about how you give back in the community and what you're doing to help grow your agents?
Well, you started because I think you have a lot more that you're doing right now within that field.
I get so excited about it. So we started doing weekly huddles with our agents. We bring in agents from other companies as well that we've talked to and learned a little bit about their business. And each week we pick a different topic to cover on how you can grow your business. And it did start with just our team and our downline and the people within our group, so that we can all continue to grow. But it soon ventured out to inviting other agents, and we get the feedback of, hey, thanks so much. This was great, good learning experience. And I think we just enjoy doing that.
You do.
Enjoy sharing.
I think that's always been my thing too as well. I've always loved giving back. I mean, any agents that know me personally have known me throughout my career. I've always been the one you come to ask, what are you doing? How are you doing this? Have you ever heard of this lead generation platform? And I just gave it away. I've always given it away. I made it such a cool fit with eXp because it came so natural.
Did we lose him?
I think we might have lost him.
No.
Give him a second.
Yeah, we'll give him a second. We may have lost him. They froze up.
There.
Oh, there
we are.
Hey, you're back.
So it was just a matter of
saying it was.
Where did I leave off that?
Just about how you've always done it, and eXp.
Yeah, eXp is always, everybody was giving back in eXp, and all of our first events were that way, and how cool that was to be in an environment that was such a, this is our core value that you do, like from the beginning, just giving back, just the secret sauce like you always talk about. I just love that whole idea. And it was, for me, it was words that I needed to hear. It wasn't so much that I needed to see it, but just when we sat down with you for the first time, and Jeff, and I remember him just saying, it was like, what do you want? What do you need? I'll show you. You want to see what it is? I'll show you. And it didn't really show me anything, but just the fact that you had that backing at the end of the day was like, by God, let's go do it. Let's go freaking hit this thing up and running. And I think we just never looked back at that point in time.
It's amazing how we can learn so much as a group, and sharing about what experiences we have had, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and how we can each build upon one another. There's plenty of business around for everybody, and you guys are even going outside of eXp and showing other agents that, hey, this can be done and we can collaborate here. I don't think we were as outward originally when we came to the company, where we held stuff really close, and what we found is once we started, whatever you give back tenfold. And eXp has absolutely shown that to us.
Talk to us about 2020. Definitely. Boy, oh boy, has it been a year. And clearly, with now your second Icon Award, was it even a blip in your business? Talk to us about it. What were some of your most important lessons?
As soon as it hits, obviously, you get scared. I came from residential site development before real estate, and I was like, my goodness, is this going to be another type of huge economic downturn? And granted, it has been for many individuals. There's no doubt there but what are we going to do? And I remember talking, we talked early on in this, when it was very coming on, you basically said, let's double down. Let's make sure you get out there and start, keep it going. It's just whatever you can do, make those connections, make those phone calls, keep that business coming in. And that's pretty much what we did. We just stayed right on it, act like the virus had not really done anything, made those connections. People still had to move. I mean, jobs were still being done. People were having to downsize. People were upsizing. There's still a lot. You had to just capitalize on it the best way that you can. And but it was definitely a scary thought. I think this is one of those years, I think at the end of the day, we're going to be able to write a book about it. Out of all my years in real estate, and I don't know about 10 in the title, I'm not fair share, but we've had so many weird real estate transactions that I've never seen before, just encounters. I had my first, we had our first, we're closing next week, and bought a car before closing. And it was like, are you kidding me?
Clarify that Dan, for those on the outside world and our consumers and our customers.
Let me back it up a little bit.
Should we buy a car?
You couldn't buy anything. Don't do anything, furniture, cars, anything major where your credit has to.
They froze up. Give him a second. All right, Dan and Tanin.
They're breaking the internet with all this information.
Oh.
Buying a car is not the thing to do when you're buying a house. It's
well, anything major, like Dan said, right? It's like nothing that's going to ping your credit.
Absolutely.
Before you're even going to make any of those decisions, who should be their first call?
Their lender.
Their lender. Call their lender.
Can I do this?
Is this going to impede the purchase at all? Let me just make sure I'm going to, because we appreciate your grace in this moment. I'm just going to make sure Dan and Tanin know that they're going to come right back in. It's okay. One thing we've learned, what were you just saying? We were in a meeting with one of our leaders in leadership at eXp Realty recently, and in the background of our leader was a landscaper, and we joke because sometimes we're in meetings and the landscaper's going on, or the kids might pop in with a piano, and it's like, look, this is real world. The real world stuff, things happen like this, but we're agile, right, Dan and Tanin? We're agile.
We're back.
Hello.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm not sure.
No, that's okay.
So don't buy a car.
Don't
make any major financial decisions before you buy a house. Speak to your lender. Speak to your agent.
Ask your agent. Just ask first is the number one thing. Ask first. But it was a big deal for us. It's a 1.3 million. We had a bad appraisal. We fought tooth and nail. We got that appraisal up, which is a very tough feat all in itself. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, not just $20,000. To make this deal happen, and everything's moving along, and everything's good, and we bought a car, and we're like, are you kidding me? We're closing next week. And it was like, I can't believe this is going to be the outcome of this. And
you know what, though? Those are all good things, and it's good reminders for us, because you get a little relaxed in the business thinking everybody knows that, right? They don't. Our consumers, our customers, they don't know everything that we know. So it's just a reminder to us. This is one more thing that we definitely have to add back into the business and get back to the routine of reminding people, because not everybody knows that.
Well, us as agents sitting in the seat of the consumer is so critical. As you mentioned, Tanin, it's so easy for us to, it's transactional in the fact that it becomes like a second language, or, so fluent for us that we almost forget some of those minor details, and the reminders of the details in a proactive stance can be so important for us to serve our customers with along the way. So good reminder.
So I love that as most important lesson. Not time to fill the garage.
That's not what we thought you were going to say, Dan and Tanin, about lessons of 2020.
But like Tanin said a minute ago, there's always those things, like between buyers or sellers, things that you kind of just get. I wouldn't call it complacent, but you just you sell so many homes, and they go so smoothly for so long, and then all of a sudden you get one of those like, oh, I didn't think about that. I can't believe we forgot about that. So we we actually spent a lot of time this morning talking with our agents about those exact items.
We bring that up every week. Like, what lesson did you learn this week? Share it with the group so that nobody else, either makes that mistake or we're prepared on how to handle it if that does come up. And it works out really well. So when you have dozens of agents sharing every single week what challenges they're facing or how they overcome them, it makes it so much easier for all of us to operate and not do those same things or do it right the first time.
I think it was really, what you said in the beginning about doubling down and to have the courage, even when, you were watching everything on the news that was happening, to say, I believe in myself, I believe in this business, and if I'm going to bet on anything, I'm going to bet on me. It really does say a lot about your character and that what you're going to do,
what you did
and what you ended up doing. Yeah. So looking ahead,
kind of a thing, just kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So from what we've learned in 2020, looking ahead to 2021, how are you preparing for your business and how are you preparing your agents? Because we're in a completely different market than we were even 6 months ago now, or the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I was going to say this year was a definite reminder to me of how important connections are and to stay connected to people. We're not going to be able to see each other all the time like we used to. If we have time, so maybe we don't see them for months. It's so important to stay connected, to reach out to your people and just be there for whatever it is that they're going through. And those connections, I think, is what has helped our business the most.
Absolutely. So, there's no doubt. I think since Tanin, joined me, and then obviously we went to EXP, our biggest thing, within real estate's always been the roller coaster effect. You get the highs and lows. And this is one of those times where the November, December is a time, and I look at this time, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I look at the double down comment that Renee said to us earlier this year, and I kind of looked at that at the same time. Agents tend to pull back a little bit. You get this adversity, this like something's happening. Okay, let's all pull back and let's just see what kind of happens. Instead of like, all right, how are we going to work with this? How are we going to keep this moving forward? And this is one of those times of years as well. The November, December. How can you keep it to where you get away from this and go just to the straight, line? Keep moving up. So we've told all of our agents the same way, to keep those connections going, keep making those calls. Don't just like, well, Christmas is coming, so no one's going to be buying a house this week mentality, which is very easy for a lot of people to do. So,
well, didn't we all see those agents who had that mindset of, well, there's a pandemic or there's quarantine or whatever the reasons that we can allow to creep in, which are, in my opinion, stemmed by fear, to be crippling. And I'll raise my hand and say, like, straight up, we had moments of those fear moments, and it really was SHIT, what are we going to do? But with having a network like our group and all of the strength around us, the Icon community and our EXP family, everybody kind of rallied together real fast, and that woe is me moment of, maybe that 12 hours that we had a moment of SHIT turned into double down, believe in yourself. We know where we're going. We can face any adversity. And it was the strength of, having the two of you and so many others that everyone on this call, the four of us, we're very grateful to have those relationships to say, let's rally together and with each other.
You need that. That's really what you need. You need to know that you have that sense. No one was going to an office, but yet we were still staying connected through workplace and through other platforms in our world as well, to say, like, okay, what do we got to do to get together, to rally up, keep that positivity, keep those vibes kind of going in the right direction versus just kind of go, woe's me, the whole thing is shutting down. Let me, shut my blinds and just, block out the world kind of mentality. So that was definitely, we needed it. I think if we had been, and I often think about this lately, especially just when I was at my smaller brokerages and so forth, we had a great community of agents and great community of people, but how small it was and how there wasn't enough to really bounce those things off. But where we have that difference with the EXP, we don't have to necessarily see each other. We're so far across town from each other, yet we have all these great tools available
I feel like I see you guys all the time. Every time I see your posts or videos on workplace and how to open a CVS code and how to find this and Laura.
That was this one.
I get that question. Yeah, that's a big question in our
how to use a CBS code. It's a game changer. And on that topic, let's get tactical for a couple minutes. I'd love to hear from both of you a piece of tactical advice that you would give an agent right now to grow their business in an immediate sense, right? Is, there are some agents out there that are feeling that pain. There are some agents that are saying, oh my goodness, I need to be very concerned about my next couple transactions. Where are they coming from? What advice would you give tactically to those agents?
I think we all feel, I don't care how much business you do, I think there's a little bit in all of us that feel, where's my next deal going to come from? Every day I think that. And I would say for any agent that comes, and I tell everything, get connected to the people in your community and you be the connector. So you go out there and, like you said, if you give a little bit, you're going to get stuff in return. So I want you to go out there and connect with the people in your community, get to know your neighbors. Number one, I don't care if you're farming a community or not, you should know what's going on in your neighborhood. Set yourself up on an MLS search and know every pending, active, and sold property. Whether you're going to farm it or not, you should know. You live there. This is your investment in yourself and your family as well. So get to know that information. It's so helpful when you're out talking to neighbors. If they know you're in real estate, they're going to talk to you about real estate. And you're going to look 10 times better if you know what you're talking about. You know the homes that are selling. So I would say, one, get familiar with your neighborhood that way, with the MLS, and two, get out there and talk to your neighbors and talk to people. Don't be scared to talk. Right now, I know it's a little weird with COVID, but there's so many ways to do it. Pick up the phone, call somebody, text them, send them a letter.
You can bring them outside, and talk to them outside as well. I think I'm going to piggyback on what Tanin's talking about, and the biggest tool that I would tell everybody, especially the newer agents, because a lot of times and I think that you guys might see it as well, is that they're like, well, we don't have, I don't have the kind of money to spend for this or that. And I said, you know what, the number one thing is, we might have a bigger marketing budget and can throw things around at different platforms and try different things. And if it doesn't work out, it's something that might not work out there, but it might work somewhere else. We tell all the agents, the number one thing that you and I have the same amount of is time, right? You can use it however you want to use it. If you want to use it to just stay inside, not do anything, that's the same thing. But like Tanin, it goes right with what she's saying is about making those connections, getting out there. It takes nothing. It takes no money to get to know your neighbors. It takes no money to set up that MLS search to know exactly what houses hit, when they went pending, what they sold for, so that you become the expert in that area. So use your time.
I would say too, get to know all the businesses in your area, all those small business owners. That's such a huge opportunity, not necessarily for business, but to know who they are, because when something comes up on our Facebook page in the community and they want to know who do I go to for this? How do I do this? Where should I go for this? I know, because I go there and I introduce them. I talk to them. I meet these business owners. I know exactly what they've got. And here's who you should go to. And make those connections of neighbors to small business owners. It's just, one, feels good. And two, you're helping them and you're making connections. And those connections turn into transactions, guaranteed.
I think one of the things that really, when you guys are talking, is that I keep on thinking about, you're talking about relationships. And newer agents, seasoned agents, the most valuable thing you have is your relationships. So nurture your relationships, let them know you're in the business, like you said, set them up on the MLS search and help them through things. And, that's how really it's going to be a backbone of your business over time.
Mm-hmm. Piggybacking on actually both of you, Dan and Tanin, is that when we look at the connections we can make through our local businesses, especially right now, especially in the midst of 2020, and there are so many local business owners that need our love and support, we've seen a tremendous amount of engagement and relationship nurturing and building relationships in a deeper way by connecting with them on social media and by giving them social media love. Like, these are all free things we can do. Is how can I help you spread the word for what's most important as a need in your business right now, and helping them spread the word. Over Thanksgiving, one of the things that we talked a lot about is how many local business owners can we go help in this next week? right? And so normally I'd make my own charcuterie board. Well, I knew there was a local lady who makes charcuterie boards. We went there and we brought our business there, and those kind of things help you build relationships. And then the other thing, Dan, you mentioned about business at scale and agents sometimes getting tripped over about budgets and all of that. The reality is that most of what can be done, certainly in the beginning, while agents are starting to scale their business, can be done for free. Mm-hmm. And this thing right here is super powerful. Like we always share with agents, you have at least 2 or 3 transactions right now in this thing. Start with your contacts, go A, call every human to Z. You're going to call me back and you're going to go, hot dog, I just found a couple transactions. They're there. It's real. I'm trying not to curse again. All right, you're up.
I'm up.
I knew I threw you with the hot dog. Come on, you guys.
I just think it's amazing what everything we're talking about. We've been talking about relationships all day, about our peers and working together and then working with customers. And it's all about the relationships we create here. And they are so important. And I want to remind everybody that we're here to have, we have room for more relationships, and we're happy to help people on their journey here. So I think that's really important to know that the 4 of us are always here for the real estate community.
Absolutely. Authenticity, the words we throw around a lot, that authenticity, being generally wanting to help, it makes it way easier at the end of the day when you actually want to help somebody, whether it's their business, like Renee's talking about, even Jeff as well, that it just comes off naturally and easy, and not to mention it feels good. So I'm going to stick by that.
Well, what we didn't mention is, Dan and Tanin, with your second Icon Award, what exactly does that mean? Like, what were you awarded? Just curious.
Well, the greatest thing, obviously, we have some tremendous commission splits within the company. So the company it's way better, I think, than most. At an 80-20 split, it's fantastic. And after you've reached once you've reached your 80-20 and you've paid in your 20%, to the company, then you get your no fees at all for the next series of transactions, next 20 transactions. And once you hit that
flat fee.
A flat fee. Once you hit that next plateau, you get all the money you paid into the company that's helping you grow your business. They give it back to you in publicly traded stock, which has been doing phenomenal. Something that I never would have thought. Here it is. We've been selling real estate now. I'm going 13 years in real estate, and I've never been given anything other than a handshake and a pat on the back, which is good job. And here's a plaque, which look, I love nice. I still got them. The plaques and stuff from like pie producers and all that. I love all that stuff, but that's nice. But to have that $16,000 in publicly traded stock given back to you is something that you can
see it almost
quadruple
from last year's award over to this year's. That's crazy.
Retirement. You can see that just the gifts, that you can do with these things. We've got 4 kids of our own, one just out of college. We've got 3 other girls, coming. We've got weddings and colleges and cars, and just to have that financial piece there that's kind of floating, another little, I always say to our agents, I call them arrows in your quiver. Overall, you just keep pulling one out and you shoot it, but there's always an extra one there. And I think that's the amazing thing that you have within EXP is having that comfort that's sitting there and it's just waiting for you to use or not use or let it grow. And
so we also contribute that out of our paycheck, each paycheck, a little bit taken out and goes towards our stock. I didn't look at our stock until August of this year. So here it's been going for a year and a half, and I didn't even see what it was because I thought, well, we're not retiring for a long time, so let's just let it sit. And when I saw it, it blew my socks. I could not believe it.
And we know the stock market is what the stock market is, right? And we have no idea where it's going tomorrow, but we do know where it's been and what's been going on. We've seen very similar huge blessings too. We did the same thing. We contributed and woke up one day and said, oh my goodness, this is what the company has been giving us for doing exactly what we were doing before. And now I've never heard of a company that would reward its top producers in such a way. But this is the piece that really lights my fire, and I bet I can say the same for all four of us on this call, is that it encourages us to want to give back more. And so it's a cascading ripple effect that goes throughout the whole company. Because why? Because we're doing well in our business, and we wake up every day and say, okay, great, like let's cascade our knowledge out and share with others so that others can join us and continue to grow. It's magical, in my opinion. It's brilliant.
And I know we talked about the cultural commitments and stuff, but the performance commitments, or the benchmarks, it's the top 2% in the company. So you are the top 2% in real estate. So it's a great feeling to know that you've accomplished it.
Is.
Congratulations.
And I thought last year was just kind of a blip. Even though it was a good blip, I was like, what are the chances that that's going to happen 2 years in a row?
But it did have that carrot was still there. I'm like, it was one of those, I look at it as like a sporting thing. I'm a sports guy, so I'm looking at it as a sport. Got to hit the champion title once again. You got to do all the things you did the previous year, and maybe a little bit harder, dig a little bit deeper, because you definitely want to make sure you hit it. Maybe hit it a little faster, hit it a little sooner. As long as you hit it, though, that's the number one thing. Like, it's just having that given back to you is just such a great. I can't talk about it enough.
We've got a new one now. So above the icon is the mega icon.
Oh yeah.
With the teams, that's the new goal, is the mega icon.
Well, Jeff and I, we knew it. We saw it in you. We've known each other for many years, but when you came on board, we knew where you were going, and I think we can both speak up and say that couldn't be more proud of being in business with you and seeing that you are achieving your goals and exceeding your goals that you're setting, but you just wake up every day and give back. And you give back to your community, you give back to your agents, and we see what you're doing. We see you, and we're proud of you. Just really excited. It couldn't happen to a better couple.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all you guys have done. I mean, I guess seeing that, I think that when we sat down and, even with Gretchen from the beginning, and then we sat down with you, and it was a matter of, you saw that, and it was, we just weren't surrounded before. We didn't have that backing of how are you going to get there? What are you going to do? Let's get you there. What is your goal? Asking you, what is your goal and how are you going to get there? Let us show you. And just having that sense of we've got your back, kind of a thing was a lot to what I needed, at least, to get us pushing forward.
And it's so funny because I remember the day, and Dan was not on.
I mean,
and nothing against you guys, but he didn't really know you guys like I know you. I've known you guys for years. And Dan may have met you at a realtor event or something in the past, but to sit down, he's just like a real reserved or not as open to, we're happy where we're at, and we'd probably still be happy there. Had we not.
Complacent, how that is. It's like you get comfortable. Change is not always the easiest thing overall. You get, I know how this works. I know where this is at. I know how they get over here. I know who to ask over here at my office. But then that change, sometimes it's the change that you need.
When you left the table to go do something, it was just Dan and I in the office that day. He was ready right there.
All right.
I still remember that meeting.
I said that too. I was like, we don't have to. They can just stop all the talking now. I'm good to go.
Because we were talking about what it meant to love Mondays.
Yeah.
I remember the meeting as clear as day. And I remember, we've talked about it probably 1,000 times since, but comfort and growth do not coexist in the same space, period.
And it's hard to find that. In my previous company that I was with, I was the top person there for years. And there is a comfort there. But what you really start realizing is the comfort's a cage. And the growth isn't happening in that cage. And when you get around other people that are doing better than you, you start being inspired.
Yeah.
And when you get that inspiration, it gives you drive and motivation, and things start happening, and they happen a lot faster than you ever would think. So, it's great to have that open mind. I understand when people are in that situation where they're like, I'm smooth, I'm coasting, this is awesome. I like have everything I want. But when you get to that, you're not getting to that next level.
Well, certainly not as fast,
No.
right? And certainly with a heck of a lot more bloody knuckles. That we can attest to, right?
Yeah. Got a couple of scars.
Well, we have one more question for the two of you before we let you go. Actually, I lied. We have two. First, I want to make sure everyone knows. You mentioned that you do your huddles, and you mentioned, we already know how much you collaborate with agents, but for agents who want to dive in and get in more access with you and what you're teaching and coaching, how do they plug into what you all are doing?
Just reach out to us and we'll send you the Zoom invite for our Wednesday huddles. And it's every Wednesday morning. And you can just come in, be a fly on the wall and listen in if that's what you want to do. But reach out to Dave and I and we can share that with you.
Absolutely.
Can we come?
Sure. Absolutely.
I think I need to be at Dan and Tanin's Wednesday morning meeting. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think we could bring our whole team.
I think we could learn something.
Pretty sure we should probably team up together is what I've been thinking. All right, you're going to give them the hot seat
I'll
question?
give you the hot seat.
It's your favorite question.
It is. In 3 words or less, what does eXp Realty mean to you?
Let me take it.
You can go first. I've got my own answer.
I like to stick with a lot of like our core value stuff. So I think for me, it's like the innovation.
Oh, I should have gone first.
Last time we did this, I swear, like it was, I don't know, probably a year ago or more, maybe, or last time we did a little interview. That was happened to me. Tanin took all my things. So the innovation is going to be one of my. I mean, this COVID, the downturn, our world, all of our EXP stuff that we just did, our EXP Con, sharing. There's just so much that has happened with us, and the fact that we've got these amazing tools readily available to us to help us grow our business and stay continuing to grow has been an awesome. Fun, I think, is the other piece of that one too. I love. It's always fun. It's great having this right here. It's so natural and so. It's a great time. We miss being with you guys. We miss being with the rest of our EXP and our real life events. What was my other one there?
So those two were on mine. Those were two of my words, innovative and fun. But my third word was going to be leadership. And you see it start from the very top and it trickles down to every single leader within our company, and not just those with the titles of CEOs or CFOs or the initials. I see agents from Miami, from Chicago, from New York who are leaders in their area, and they inspire me. And it's just that leadership starts at the top and it just keeps trickling down to all the agents. And I love it.
I love that. That is one of our favorite questions. So
it is.
Of course, you guys nailed it. All right, guys. So where can everybody find you? Make sure we have all your contact information. It'll, of course, be tagged here, but give yourself a big shout out with your locations and social media.
Just Google Teston Team. It'll take you to any one of our social medias, whether it's Instagram or Facebook page or Pinterest page or Twitter handle.
Everything's there. Cell phone numbers are there. Phones on all the time. Text in a very easy texting design today. Message through Facebook, message through Instagram as well. All these things will be acceptable. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be like, well, I don't know. Ask. You don't get what you don't ask for. We tell our agents all the time. You go into these situations and their contract negotiations, and I'm like, well, it's kind of a low number, or maybe it's this, or maybe can we get that? I'm like, look, you don't get what you don't ask for. So come over, take a look and see.
But all the lessons that have been learned, over the years, but particularly even in 2020, you all are sharing those with your agents every day, right? And so what we know about you too is that you are the king and queen of nurturing your community and building a business throughout your neighborhood. If agents are out there and they're looking for, okay, how do I continue to grow my business right now at scale? And I don't really want to invest yet. I see what y'all are doing and you guys are killing it. So they need to be in touch with you because I'm coming to your Wednesday class too.
Okay, we love to have you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we miss you so much. You guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. And as always, let us know how we can help you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thanks for
Tanin.
watching, everybody. Make it a great
Take care.
day.
Absolutely. Good.
Mhm.